Well, hello, boys and girls. It's when I feel like 8 o'clock, and I'm Pearl of Wisdom, and you're listening to my NHL Pearls of Wisdom. I don't have time for your letters today, but thank you very much for sending them. We go down to the mailroom every day, pick up the mail sack, and pour it all over the letter table, and there's much joy and frolic. But I'll get more of those when we have less games. We have lots of games on the what do you call it? We have lots of games today. I'm doing this in the bathroom again because I live in a small apartment with lots of people, and you're going to change that by hitting the subscribe button and the bell so I become a YouTube sensation and find better digs for this. Right? Right. Okay. I was 2 for 3 yesterday, except taking into consideration that the game that I was incorrect on, I also said don't bet. I didn't bet it. But I got all the other games right, and I got the overs and the unders correct. This is where you're going to make big money. Here's another suggestion. When you make large sums of money with my predictions, send some my way. I know you're going to do that. Okay, the Ducks and Bruins. This is a oddly tough game. Now, I'm going to take the Bruins here. I'm going to take it 4-2. Actually, I think I have 3-2 here, but I'm changing it to 4-2. But I'm never totally comfortable with betting on a team that has Gibson in net, the best goaltender in the league. He could win a game all by himself. I think the percentages say you got to go with the Bruins on this one. They're pretty stacked. They're going to have Halak in net as well, which I'm not really sure matters between Halak and Rask right now. So I'm going to go with them. I'm going to do it. Wild versus the Senators. Don't touch this game. Like, really, stay far away from this game. Who knows who's going to win this? No, sorry. Yeah, I just don't take it. They're both really bad teams. Now, that being said, I would, if you have to bet it, I would take the Senators at home. They look like they're trying. The Wild do not look like they're trying. You know what? I just changed my mind. Bet this game. I take the Senators 3-2. Panthers versus the Devils. This is the one you don't bet. For sure. Stay far away. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not. They're both playing terrible. They're both working on finding chemistry, and in the Panthers case with the new coach, if the money says you go with Bobrovsky in this situation, but being on the road, and they've been on the road for a while, I have no idea. I'm going to take the Panthers 3-2, but like I said, I wouldn't bet it. Blues versus the Islanders. Here's one that could make you some money. You'd have to check on the ticker. Now, I wanted to mention I have had letters in the past. I'm not going to read them now about why I do not talk about the numbers in the betting, because that's your job. You can do that. You guys all know how to do that. I don't need to tell you if it's how much money you're going to make off each ticket. The only thing you care about is me being correct on the scores and who's going to win. That's all that matters. So that's why I don't do it. It's a waste of my time. So anyways, what was I saying? The Blues versus the Islanders. I'm taking the Islanders 3-2. Stars versus the Sabres. The Stars should start coming around here. You never know when it's going to all come together. Adding Pavelski in there they're working on getting some continuity, but from what I've watched of them, I think one of the big things is they have a few players in their depth, in depth. They don't have all that much depth in Dallas, is what I'm trying to say. And they have a few players in their bottom six that are hurt right now, and the players that have come in, like Esperance, are not, I just love his name, are not really NHL caliber. I think that's what's hurting them more than anything, and it's still not back now. And I've again, I'll keep on saying it over and over again. I picked the Sabres to make the playoffs this year. I do believe they will make the playoffs this year. And I'm going to take them to win again today, which puts them in a very good start, doesn't it? I'm going to say the Sabres win 4-3. The Avs versus the Caps, a very tough game. The Caps have been on the road for a long time. They're not playing a back-to-back here, but when any team is on the road for as long as they have, the chances of them winning decreases quite a bit, especially against a really tough Avs team. Now the thing is they've given some pretty good spankings on this road trip. I mean, you never can count the Caps out. I'm still going to take the Avs 3-1, and I would probably bet this game. You probably could make some money off of it. The Oilers versus the Hawks. This is a tough game. Again, the Oilers have been on the road. They haven't been playing a lot of back-to-backs on the road, but they're on a roll. And Crawford's in net. Crawford, I just never know what I'm going to get from him. But then last year I would have said the same thing about Smith. But Smith is playing very well this year. And a lot of that, I've mentioned this before the season started, that Tippett is going to bring a new environment to this Oilers team that they haven't had for a while. And you'll hear me talk a lot about environments that are created by coaches and, with the help of coaches. But really good coaches create a winning environment. And the people that, like stats guys, absolutely cringe when I say this. And I do follow stats. I do agree with possession numbers and stuff like that, but there are teams that consistently don't have the best possession numbers and consistently have high percentage shooting numbers, and you wonder why that is. If it's consistently happening all the time, it goes against mathematics. There has to be something in the ether that's happening out there. Well, maybe there doesn't in your mind, but in my mind it does. And I played. And I'll tell you, I was a low percentage shooter on most of the time. But I played on teams where the environment was, I don't know what you call it, but you just felt like you were going to win every night. When you got on the ice, you felt like you were going to score. And this was created by well, in my case, it wasn't general managers. I wasn't playing, high up there, but coaches, for the most part, seemed to be able to create environments that made you feel like you were going to win every time you went on the ice. And there are a handful of coaches that do that in the NHL. Dave Tippett is one. So this is a long way of saying that I'm taking the Oilers 5-4. A lot of the bets you see me do on paper, these are teams that, and the Sabres, for instance, would be one that I say that's going to win the playoffs. It would make the playoffs. Now, on paper, that shouldn't be, really. There's teams that probably have a better team on paper, say the Panthers. However, I still think the Panthers will make the playoffs because Q is a fantastic coach as well. But, I mean, that's just one example. And there's always teams that that you would think would make the playoffs throughout the year that don't. On paper, they seem to, and everybody wonders why. Sometimes it's injuries, and then there's teams that have lots of injuries and always win. If you follow a lot of this, you will find there are certain coaches like Barry Trotz, Tortorella, and Dave Tippett. What he did in Arizona was fantastic. That are the cream of the crop, and they just bring a winning environment everywhere they go. So that's where I'm going with them. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that today, just because I wanted to, because that's what I do. Anyways, boys and girls, I gotta go. This is my full 42%. I got about 5 naps I gotta pull in here. And I do these naps so I can give you the best picks, because I love every one of you. You are my favorites. Have a great day. Lots of love to you.